All right, welcome to the Mighty Finland Podcast, a podcast on all things military from the high north. We are your hosts, Ville and Ville. What's up, Ville?
Hi, Ville.
And today we're going to talk about defense technologies, defense industry, and innovations, and how Milog can help in that field. With us to talk about that is Rasmus Basilier from Milog. Welcome, Rasmus.
Thank you very much, Ville and Ville. Nice to be here.
We're happy to have you here. Let's jump right into it, and I'll ask you what the biggest problem or sort of paradigm shift is in the defense industry field right now with the war in Ukraine and everything.
I mean, the issue we're having is like Ukraine, I mean, whatever they're doing, the issue is the opponent there, Red Team, they are innovating way faster than it's comfortable for us. Like, for example, the drone usage, that was Ukrainians, but very quickly Russians pick up and also use drones. And then we have for example, the spool with the cable there. They can do the cable drones. That was a Russian innovation. It's really, you can't jam it. You only have to take it out kinetically. It's sneaking between trees, like on a 1-2 meter high. Like it's a dangerous thing. And they are continuously innovating how to use these things, and they're producing it in enormous volumes. And somebody said, like, quantity is a quality in itself. The way that they are fighting now causes concern for us because we don't have an innovation method that is the same. Like we can have a great tank, but the way it happens now in Ukraine, it's like, oh, they figure out, if somebody from either side figures out, like, oh, we're going to use a right hook, then then 2 weeks later, oh, we have a right hook block. Okay, we're going to use a left hook. Now we have a left hook block. It keeps going like that. We're not designed for that. We're designed for having like a superior force. We're just going to be so large and have all our tanks and planes and everything, and they're going to be in great shape. And then we're going to attack with that, and we're going to do great. But if we would fight them like that innovation method is not correctly done, and that's what we're seeing this paradigm shift happen. We have to have what may more innovative way. Oh, another thing, drones is a clear example of that. The dual use angle of this, we are seeing, I mean, have you heard of, you have a microwave, I'm pointing there. It is a technology that was developed. They noticed, it was a guy who was next to a radio and had this, chocolate bar in his pocket, and it got close, and the chocolate bar got fried, and what happens, and then he figured out the microwave. So like a military thing taken to civilian. That used to be the way, like, oh, this is military stuff. It's flipped now. Mm-hmm. Anything civilian is like way better. Mm-hmm. Like I remember some clip from there was some US guy made a comedy, but it's like he was gonna get some kit, and it was like military kit. It's like no, I don't want it. I want to have my own stuff. I want to buy my own. I don't want that. Because like somehow like it goes through 10, 15 years of buying. So it's already 15 years old or 10 years old, even 5 years old. Stuff that they used in Ukraine 1 year ago doesn't work. Like maybe 6 months ago, it's like half unusable. Like, and we are sitting on the average things we have. Like I had this rifle. Okay, rifle doesn't change, but I think it said 1972 on it. And I'm very happy that the Finnish military takes care of their equipment. But like the attitude is we have to change. We have to, for us to fight efficiently, we have to do new technology faster and bring outside technology into the military quickly. You know what? I will also say this. We don't have to change the whole way we're doing this. We just need to have a process that works so that if we need to speed it up, we can. But if there's no process and we have a hot situation, we're going to be like, oh, who does what? I don't understand. How do we? And then it's going to be a mess. So we'd rather have at least a process that can then be scaled up. Yeah, that's my take on that.
Cool. So like essentially, if I'm reading that right, you mean that, or essentially the Finnish military right now is in fairly good shape. We have a lot of modernized equipment. We're still modernizing our Navy, our Air Force, everything like in terms of traditional military capabilities,
Mm-hmm.
we're in a pretty good place and going to be an even better place in a couple of years. But when it comes to like innovation and sort of like... what's it called? Sopeutua.
Adaptation.
Adaptation of or like adapting to the changing battlefield. We're coming a bit late, maybe in terms of that.
It has to happen in like weeks and months, because the opponent will do that, and then whatever tactic we're using, like it won't work. It will work a bit, and then the efficiency will decline and go to zero. While yeah, it's like World War II innovation stuff. Like it needs to continuously push. We need to have the capability of that. We have kind of, I don't know if we had it back in the day, but we don't really, it's not designed like that anymore. So that's the problem.
Yeah, and the drone example is, of course, the perfect example. And with it's not just that, for example, we are doing stuff and then the opponent figures a way to block that. It's more like both sides are doing stuff and trying to figure out that how to block that or circumvent that, which just like it just snowballs from there. I was talking to some Ukrainian soft operators in Estonia a while back, and I was asking them like how quick is the pace of like learning new things, both technology and TTPs, and they said it's daily.
Yeah,
like we'll do something today and they'll figure out to block it tomorrow, and the day after they'll come at us with something else.
Yeah. So I mean, we as NATO and Finland as NATO, we need to develop that capability. And I want to mention that early. That's for you guys who are listening. Why we're talking about this, because I'm looking for patriots who want to help. Like the whole thing, there are processes for things, and then there are things that just need to get done. Like solve the problem. It's not like crossing all the things the right way, but it's getting this problem solved. That is as important, if not more important, to solve the problem. And there are always things you can do. We'll talk about that, I think. But there are things you can do that is not. You don't have to do it in your official capacity as a soldier or as a civilian. You can get involved with your military experience, helping this thing to happen, even if in your normal day-to-day role that is actually not really what you're supposed to do. That's I want to get into that today. But that's so that this shift is happening. Oh, and that's why this is so great, because there are patriots around. That when I have something. Let's say I might have a new radio signal, something. There are people, when I talk with them, say, oh, a new radio frequency thing that I can use. I'm like, yeah, I got it. They're like, okay, let's see if we can try that out somehow. And they'll find a way to see if it works the way it should. So that's the way we have to think about this. We work our way as best we can to make Finland as a great defense as possible, with or without the, we will find a way. And that's what I'm looking for here from this podcast too.
Yeah,
perfect.
Awesome. And Finland is a great place for that, as we've many times before also told on this podcast. We feel that one of the big strengths with the Finnish conscript military system is the fact that pretty much everybody who goes through that then does something else than being just a soldier, and they develop a lot of skills and a lot of knowledge in different fields, and then they still have like the way of thinking like a soldier somewhere in the back of their mind. So like they can apply those principles then into a military context, and that's something that you want to then enable through Milog, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Milog's role in this, if we talk shortly about that, but it's like we help if you want to do defense things, we can help you with military-like exercises without the military. So because sometimes there's a really cool thing coming up in February, another one in November, but they have been planned for a year. And if you're not in on the planning, if you develop your idea 3 months ago, you're out. Like you're not in. Even though the solution you're working on is maybe the best one, but that's not. Even though I appreciate that they're trying. This is all militaries. They all struggle with this, but there's sometimes a difficult way to get in, even if your technology is good. So we can make exercises where we use your service, like yourself and those of you guys who are listening, we make an exercise that simulates what it would be like, and then we throw in all the cool tech there, and we can invite the military guys to come watch. They can come, and that's fine for them. They're doing their job, scouting, understanding the technology, but they don't have to create the whole exercise, which takes them, months to do, according to how their process. So that's something we can do to help. We can also get, and also, just testing and stuff in a good field environments, because that's something that's difficult. For example, in Germany, it's almost impossible to fly over 120 meters. They have planes. If you have seen this map with their planes where they are, they're like Middle Europe is just full of these yellow planes. But Finland, we don't have a lot of planes. We don't afford them. And when the Russian border closed, nobody is flying there. So there's a lot of empty area where we can actually fly quite high. And we can even do jamming. We can do explosions. There's many things we can do here that's very difficult to do in other countries. So we add those things together. That's what we can help with. Additionally, all right, I'm just going to mention this so you guys know.
Go for it, dude.
Yeah. So the one thing is testing validation, making sure your tech is what it is, and also understanding it from a military perspective, is it useful or not, and so on. And the other side is when you're scaling, we can be a partner. So if you have a tech that's, let's say I talked with a company today that's 1 year old, and if they have to apply, I think it's even in the Finnish procurement law, it says the equipment has to be guaranteed to be maintained through the life cycle of the product. So if it's 10 years old, I have to guarantee that it's supposed to work for 10 years. But the company is 1 year old. it's like run by two students. So if the military gets this like a tender, I'm going to buy this equipment, and they get this offer, and they'll be like, I don't. This is a joke. Like I cannot. We will throw this in the trash because it's not credible as a seller. So we can go in and be a maintenance partner or a partner with maintenance, warehousing, customer care, stuff like this. So you look bigger than you are. So we can help you when you're starting to sell, and we can help you when you're developing your product. So that was my pitch. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming to Mighty Finland Podcast. It was great.
Yeah, we're done.
Good TED Talk.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how we can help. And we fit with accelerators. We can talk about those too. Should we go to that?
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So for those who are not familiar, accelerators normally were for business. So like you come in as a student, you're like, I want to make a new Facebook or something, but I have a different idea. It should like be, switching left, back and left and something. And then suddenly you realize we get coaching, get support. And then from there comes like Tinder or something. Like, oh, wow, it's like a different way of meeting people. And it's usually, the thing is when you come in, especially young, you're so fresh, you don't understand how to run a business. You will fail. So it's like a school, like a course. You can call it like a course. It's usually intensive, like 2 months long. And sometimes you get money for this. Sometimes you get they take a percentage of your company. In Finland, usually you don't get money and you don't get any. It's just for free. It's like communism. We get everything for free, no taxes. Okay, but then you get paid by the tax dollar, and that's really good. But now they put it into defense, which means that if the issue we might have, even the defense forces, any of them, is like, okay, I hear you have a cool thing, but I'm busy, and how do I know you're a secure person? How do I know this tech is even, like, I don't have time for this. It's like, so then, for example, NATO Diana is great. They take 150 companies, next cohort in January. They had 3,000 something companies apply, or they call them innovators. You don't have to be a company per se. Innovators. They apply with the technology, and then from that they go like down select, and then they get 150. They all get security cleared. And then now the military can say, oh, NATO Diana. Okay, great. Well, now I know I can look at these 150. That's fine. So then all the NATO forces and all the patriots inside of these organizations that know this is important can pour their time and effort into these 150 companies. So NATO Diana is like a stamp in a way that you are actually checked. So that and then they do it. That's accelerator is quite long. It's 6 months long. Yeah, but then you get coach. It's 1 week per month. You get coaching, advice, meeting you get like the primes like Patria or Lockheed Martin. Something will come there. Military guys, special operations. They will get you access to events. They will get you access to exercises. It's just they're opening all the doors they can. Anything they can do for you, they do there. They also have something called the Rapid Adoption Service, which is a way to you can sell without making a tender request for it for a small sum. I think it's up to 300,000 euros. So that's like it's legally complicated how that's done. But if you're in NATO Diana, you're selected. It's been a competitive selection. There's reasons for that, and then you can sell limited amounts directly without having to have a tender. It has to go through a process internally, whatever the forces want, but you don't have to like go to a tender and have 5 options, and they can just what's called direct source. I think it's called single source. Source.
You can't get all of the bureaucracy away, but like you can get to a fast lane. Yeah, essentially.
Like the worst part you can get rid of. So that's quite sexy. So that NATO, and you get 100,000 euros plus you get another undisclosed amount, which seems to be up to 100,000 euros that you can add for more testing and validation. You can buy it from Milog if you want. So that's something that we have. That's a part of it as well. So you get a little bit of money, but the money basically spent on traveling. But then the extra 100,000 or so is very useful for testing and validation that we can do. So that's NATO Diana. Then we have UDIS BAM. It's a similar one, but it's only for the EU. So Norway not involved, UK not involved, but okay, Austria is of course not involved in NATO. We have this fucking web of alliances. I don't know who's my friend anymore. I don't know. But that's you get 80,000 there, and you don't have this RES Rapid Adoption Service thing there, but you have same with pouring resources into this. So those are the 2 main ones. And then we have in Finland. They're popping up more, but the one in Finland that I'm interested in is the Riihimäki Define, or now it's Finnish Define, like the Defense Innovation Network Finland or something it stands for. And it takes 30, I think the cohort is 15 each, so 15 2 times a year. I think that's a cohort. So it's more local, but no, they bring companies from all over the world. So I think, or the alliance. So you would have roughly half is Finnish companies, half are others. And they also, same thing. Now, this is more Finland. So now the Finnish Defence Forces can be there. A super cool thing they did, for example, if you're working in technology, they had, I don't know which year it was the people who want to be captains, I think it was. the whole cohort of 80 captains or something came in and gave feedback on the ideas of these innovators. So they could say, hey, I'm trying to do this. What do you think? And they could like give immediate feedback. Yeah, I would use it like this, or I would change this. So the officers had great fun because this gives you new technology, and the startups had great fun because they could get that direct feedback like they need. So these accelerators create this ground of feel that now the officers know I can be here. This is the right place for me. I can now interact with the startups, and it focuses the energy to the correct place. So if you work in defense technology, really try to get into accelerators. Usually they're free. Usually they give you money. So it's a win-win. Yeah, that's what defense accelerators.
All right. Yeah. Well, on that note, at what level should like the development of the product be in order for accelerators to become relevant?
NATO Diana has the TRL level. TRL is a technical readiness level. So 4 is proven in the laboratory. 5 is like proven outside the laboratory, but like not well. I think 6 is like proven with soldiers, but it's like not, or with users, but not really well. And 7, we're starting like it's a product you can actually use. 8 is somewhere close to mass production. So if you're TRL level 4, it means you have proven it works, but it's like not in the right way. It's like the laser goes from point A to point B in my new special laser. That's proven, but it's never been like hasn't shooting down any drone yet. But it is proven that the laser works. Like I would say that's the lowest you should go. If you have only an idea, there might be some special accelerators. I think I made one. It was called Dual Use Discovery. I made it in VTT when I worked there together with Suvo Lehtonen. It was and she is with the XT Solutions. She works there now, and I work at Milog. But we did it together. It was a really good program where we had ideas, and we had 100 companies come in. So it could be at idea level, and they got 30-minute feedback, and then we had like webinars. But it's like super basic. Get involved, get the feel. Is this something I should be doing? Like that was the level. So that exists, or it did exist. I don't know if it exists again. We maybe should do it with Milog. Who knows? Come on, bosses. We should do it. That could be. But so that would be idea level. But at idea level, it takes some time, and it's very special people to push it from idea level to actual something. So real accelerators, so to say, I would say TRL level 4, at least proven in the laboratory. That's when you can get involved.
That's cool. I feel like our introduction question went fairly long because you just mentioned that you also worked for VTT earlier, and the important question that we usually ask our guests is what cleaning area. So now you can give a short introduction of yourself and your background to our listeners.
All right. Well, to keep it interesting, I'm born in Sweden. Mutta isä on suomalainen. He's from Finland, but I was not taught Finnish as a child, so it's been somewhat of a struggle. But I do speak Swedish, so I live in Västra Nyland, and they speak Swedish there. That's great for me. I can stay in my little colony that I live in. But yeah, so that's I did my service at the Swedish Royal Marines. I am one of these, we call it militärt överintresserad person, a military overinterested person. Yeah. That's me. I fit that description. But for some reason, like, okay, I found my girlfriend. She's now my wife. We have kids together and everything. So I found her during my time there, and I moved to Finland. I met her in Finland, moved to Finland. We met at a wedding with my father's cousin. That's how it goes. That's the only reason anybody moves to Finland. Like, if you're not a it's like 100%. That's the only reason. So anyway, I moved here, and then like kind of this military thing. We I don't know. It was a mixed bag experience for me. I wanted to be probably an officer. Like I loved the military. I loved that stuff. But then when I got in, they did a reformation of the Swedish military. So they say everybody because we're selected in advance for what we're going to be. So I got in and I got the highest test on everything. I was like fucking psyched to go. And then they were, okay, you got highest on everything. You can pick whatever you want. I'm like, I want to be platoon manager for the Fallskärmsjägare, whatever, like the paratroopers. And they said, no, we only have group leader. I'm like, no, I want to be like a platoon leader. That's the highest you could be in Sweden. So can I do it with the guys fjälljägare, the ones in the north, like the Jägers of the north? And that's what my brother did. He was my brother's kind of cool guy. So I was like, I want to be like my brother. And they said, sorry, we also took that away, only group leaders, because like the military is declining. But you could be a platoon manager at a platoon leader in the amphibious corps. I didn't even know that existed. I'm like, okay, let's go for it. So Swedish Royal Marines, I go in, platoon leader, ready to go. And I come in there and they say, okay, welcome everybody to the Marine Corps. We have made an organizational change. Everybody who is going to be a platoon leader or group leader are demoted and you will be a private the whole time. You have no chance of promoting during 11 months. Welcome. And yeah, I could take that for like 3 months. And after that, like my brain couldn't take it. Like no chance of influencing your life in any way or form, no way of leading, no way of improving, no way of using my skills. I've been practicing my whole, like, not my whole childhood, but like as a teenager, I was just so ready for this. And then, so that led me, like, my interest decreased after a while, that like there's nothing can be done to improve in this situation. So yeah, leave, go to Finland. And then I lived in Turku, Åboakademiet and Ahvenanmaa. And now but anyway, military was like forgotten basically. I watched war movies and stuff. And then the war in Ukraine happened. I was like, I was running accelerators on business accelerators at the time. I was like, I need to do something. But I was like, I speak Swedish in Finland. I don't speak good English. And then I was thinking I could sell weapons. I could do that. So I was like, I can maybe go to Patria and say, hey, can I sell your weapons? And that's, but I don't know anybody. It sounds kind of strange to do. So the idea just, went away. But then I read in the news, NATO Diana defense accelerator is coming to Finland. I was like, this is me. Defense, and I've even written a book about accelerators. You see in my email signature. Cool. So I have a book about it. I do a PhD studies about accelerators too. So I'm like, accelerators, that's my thing. And defense, and now I can finally do something. So I applied and I got in, and that's what I worked with VTT for a year on this NATO Diana accelerator there, building it up there, running the dual use discovery and so on. But there was one thing that we couldn't fix there that I can now do at Milog, and it's this testing and validation environment. NATO Diana it was started in like 2021. So before the Russian war, they knew this was a problem. And then the Russian war happens and they're like, like they didn't, like things started moving very fast suddenly. So they have a whole network of testing centers, all are laboratories. And practically every technology that comes into NATO Diana is from a laboratory. So they're like, you want a laboratory? They're like, I this came from one. I don't understand. So, well, we have all this money to give you, but I can't. What should I do? It's already validated in the lab. We're good. I need to go outside. So then, I realized this quite quickly, and I was spreading information. And we have to create this validation environment. It is key to do. And Tony, I think maybe others at Milog, I don't actually know the story internally, but Tony Pispa, my manager at the director at Milog, caught this idea. He was doing something with it, but when the opportunity came, I was like, let's jump over to Milog and do it there, because that's what's needed. That's really needed. So that's why I'm now at Milog. And I love doing defense stuff. And I think, I gotta say, maybe you guys been in it for a while, but like, because we have this problem also of having this tech, I feel like we're together, kind of like I don't feel almost any hostility, because like normal business, like you have to be a little bit careful, and like, I don't know, it's like, because somebody could be your opponent or something, because it's competition. In defense, it's more like, we got to fix this procurement setup. We need this testing, how to do testing fast. It needs to be fixed. So we're all like pulling in the same direction. So that is such a welcoming environment. And even though I speak English, people have been or Swedish, people have been very nice to me. So yeah, maybe that's something. Yeah.
There's definitely also like, I feel like market maturity kind of thing where militaries have been around for centuries, but this field that we're talking about where you have defense tech startups and it has to go faster and you're trying to solve all these different problems, it is very unmatured, where stuff is just going at a fast pace and it's just like everybody's learning on the go. Sort of.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, that's a good take on it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's like, if you're in the military and you've been there 30 years or 20 or even 10, you didn't have to deal with this at all. It's not a thing. At all. You got new equipment eventually, or like I remember in my unit, we suddenly got new rifles. I was like, that's nice. And I bet it took 10 years to develop that rifle. And like to make it more plastic. It's like, that was the thing, that you can see the bullets and stuff. AK-5 Caesar. So it was just, that was the, and I don't think that it was like a guy had this as a job at headquarters or something. I mean, it's more complicated than that, but it wasn't a thing. Now it's a thing all the time. Like, I bet the conscripts are frustrated when they're not allowed to use one drone per group, for example. I could bet they're frustrated. And I was talking with my Swedish relative who is a reservist there, and I said, how many drones, or how do you do with drones? He's like, we're not allowed to use them, and we're not allowed to use our own. We're just blind out there, baby. We
just know we should have them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's so, I mean, the different militaries have different approaches. I mean, Finland has I kind of feel like there's just more patriots here. People are like, I'm getting a feel. People are willing to like, we need to like test this because like it's we're gonna die otherwise. So we got to find a way to see if this works the way it should. I'm getting that feeling more that it's just people make it work somehow. It could be better. It could be more official the way things are done. But I'm getting this good vibes from the Finnish ecosystem of reservists and soldiers.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And in general, also the fact that like I haven't thought about the fact that there is such like strong collaboration within the defense industry, and like it's not as an hostile environment as probably many other environments might be, but there's probably the like age-old saying, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend," is very much true in that.
I mean, we
scene.
feel it now. Like, I mean, maybe in Finland, like I grew up in Sweden, and like the threat of Russia, because I'm born 87, so I grew up during the 90s and early 2000s, like when I was a child, and it's like Russia wasn't a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a collapse. It was like a failed state for us.
Yeah.
And it's like it wasn't mentioned. Like I knew like they had a president. I was a child too, but it's like it wasn't like a real threat, so to say. But here, I think we've been like all the time. Like, when is this coming? We gotta watch out. He's anytime, any day. Yes, so with a different attitude towards it, maybe.
Yeah, finally we got to say, we told you. We told you guys. Yeah.
I got to tell that, by the way, that's a change of the status of a Finnish person.
Mm-hmm.
Finland was like Estonians, like worthless people. And, I love Estonians. They're great. They get shit done too, by the way. Estonians get shit done.
True.
For sure. They get shit done. But like it wasn't like a real country.
Mm-hmm.
Finland was not considered a real country. It was like some outskirt place.
Yeah.
And now we're like, how big is your military?
Exactly.
We have 980,000 soldiers.
Yeah.
With the law change now, we have 1 million. We have 1 million. How many do you have at Germany?
Yeah.
Oh, you have 200,000. Oh, okay. Just checking.
Awkward.
Yeah, exactly. Just checking like how big it was.
Actually, I learned last week that within NATO, Finland is considered a mid-sized country. So by usually wherever you put us, except if you compare us to the Baltics, we are in the small country section. It doesn't matter what you're talking about.
Finland and Albania. We're the same.
Exactly.
Good company.
Maybe like hockey. In hockey, we're not a small country.
Yeah.
But like outside of hockey, this like the military discussion is within NATO, we're a mid-sized country. It feels like
we
big.
were kind of like the weird prepper uncle of
exactly.
Europe.
I feel that too. Like we've been digging tunnels and shit. Like, why do you need one? The nukes are coming. And then now we're like, I told you so. I told you so. We're coming. But I think we should use it as Finnish people listen to this. Like we should use it. Like be proud that we
that
come with that. Like you don't have to be like cocky, but like we got it. Like we got it. Like and I think people, at least in the industry I'm in, but people are not average people too, because the problem is where people are problem aware. That we can't really have the military we used to have because it's not really working.
Mm-hmm.
Finland's military might be working, but the other was not. I mean, like Latvia and Lithuania, I think Estonia don't have any tanks. I'm not saying like, I don't know if they could see even further in the future. They're like, we're just going to be drones everywhere. No tanks are needed. But like they just don't have any. It feels like, So there are things like this going on. I just heard this. The stats are from 2023, but Germany had only 30% operational tanks.
Mm-hmm.
Finland has 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like it's. What do you mean you don't have?
Yeah.
I could get 99, 98. Like some has to be in repair, come back.
Yeah.
I get it. They're like, no, it's just I can't imagine. How can it go to that point?
Imagine my look when I'm at the NATO summit and this dude tells me, we really didn't have a defense plan in NATO before 2019. And I go, what do you mean not a defense plan? He goes, who are we defending against? And I'm like,
well,
my dude, what have we joined?
What are you then? Yeah.
What is? Yeah. You should join Finland. Yeah. Finland shouldn't join NATO. You join us. Well, It's been a nice club for everybody. Like, I have to do work now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It was just global war and terror. Don't need to care about anything else.
We had to go to other places and kill their children to I don't know.
Oh God.
Well, okay. Well, we fight terrorists as well, I know. But sometimes I felt like we killed one and then we get like 3 more. Like, God damn, we tried to kill them too, and then now there's 10 of them. Seems to be going the wrong direction.
Yeah.
It's like, but I didn't have to be involved in that. It just looked like, if in retrospect now, when we have a real, like, clearly defined opponent which is very near and threatens our territory, it kind of cleared out, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I guess it's good to practice, anti-terrorism stuff. I mean, it's good to get some practice in, but
yeah.
Exactly. I think that's the reason we go. We're like, US is going. We're like, I guess get some reps. Get some reps.
Nothing better to do, I guess.
Exactly.
Kind of.
Yeah, and look where that goodwill brought us.
Yeah. Well, we're in NATO at least. That's good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. All right. I don't remember where I was going for before the whole rant on GWAT, but I was going to ask, because you make a great point that Finns could be an asset in these kinds of for companies within this field, obviously in Finland, but also abroad. Yeah. How could people enter this field?
I mean, there's enormous growth. Anybody unemployed now, like, get your shit together. But like, it's no, but
heard it here.
No, I'm trying to. Like, there is a lot of if you just angle your life for defense, like I'm going to be in defense. I was at some event wasn't too long ago. This was a lady who was there. She wanted to do something. I think I met her 3 months later, and then it's like, yeah, she's in. Anybody who wants to get into this space, there is more. It's like an IT bubble now. The closest I was IT bubble burst like 2000 something, and I was like 13 at the time. But like people like there's just was it Anduril? I shouldn't like they are valued at $100 gazillion
something like that. Yeah,
and they're not in Ukraine. And the last reports was that their things are crashing and not working. So there is more money than there are pockets. Right. And it creates this bubble-like situation. We're in somewhat of a bubble, overheating, you could say. But that's for them. If you want to have work, like if you want to do shit, this is the time. Go to events, European Defence Tech Hackathon, Defence Tech meetups, any type of defense events. Just get in, you're in there, talk with people, shake some hands. You are going to find a path to go. Within 1 year, you're working in this industry. That's like practically guaranteed. Yeah. And do content. That's great.
Yeah.
You can see, check me on LinkedIn. It's amazing. You can see it's the best. And you can see that. But like I just do reaction videos on tech. That's what I do, and I get like thousands of views. Yeah, and that makes me. It makes a person more hireable, right, including myself. But so that's something to. If you actually want to do it, just get involved. Because you're sitting like the thing is also as you talked about reservists compared to like the American comparison, they do like if you do basic training for 3 months, you're in for 6 years or something. That's like first step, and then if you're like longer, you're like 12 years. Think of doing military for 12 years and then trying to be a civilian. I think that might I mean they get jobs, but if you are a civilian with understanding of life and you have this military interest, you're in reserve, you're involved, you might be an even stronger candidate than someone with a full military background, even though they have their place, absolutely. So it's extremely, Finns, because we're all trained. Like, I mean, like, yeah, there's definitely a need. And if you think larger than just working in Finland, if you happen to have a situation where you can move, just there are opportunities all around in this space.
I just heard a while ago that specifically in Tampere, there's and I was listening to this on the radio and I spaced out when they said the number of jobs that are opening in Tampere, but it was 3 or 4
when you
numbers.
See Patria just sold 1,000, 6.6 or 4, like the sound. Yeah. I'm like, that means they need repair people, electricians, like all the people work. Oh, that's another thing. Okay, I'm getting into like coach, but like if you're in the wrong field, I was this close of becoming an electrician, or actually I would be like a guy who cuts grass at like apartment buildings. I was this close.
So like a janitor?
Kind of like a janitor, yes. It doesn't sound so glamorous when you say it like that.
Those are the real MVPs.
Yeah, exactly, the real MVP. No, because the at least when I was living in Turku at the time, the saying was, who are we going to select this year to not do the job properly? Like, so they were so poor. They were like people from jail who just come back and forth, like people who hate their lives. They're doing that job, so they're not doing it very well. So I was like, so there was very little competition. So, but what I realized was my skills that I had was somewhat, well, they weren't as requested on the market as I would have liked, even though I thought I was doing a good job. It was not as interesting for the market. So like, when are you going to wake up to the thing that we have? I think it's electricians who work with cold environments. There's like a shortage of 600-700 of them, and the shortage increasing. And then we've got people who like marketing degrees, like, I can't get a job. I'm like, yeah, because you're not needed. We need electricians. Like, do you want to have a pay, or you want, like, I don't know. So in this particular, like, get in there. There's so much work. There's so much to do. That they're selling things, building things. You need sales guys going around the world. Yeah, but you're right. They need like hundreds of people just when they make one order.
And the ecosystem is just growing constantly.
Yeah. So it's all positive. Like, so everybody listening to this, like, get involved. But I want you, this is my call to action. Contact me, especially on LinkedIn. Put it in the show notes or something. But it's Rasmus Basilier. It's spelled in LinkedIn. Find me there and connect with me, because I want to work with reservists who want to test shit. I have groups that I work with. They're doing great, but I'm getting too much stuff sent at me. For example, I have here Pulsetto. These guys are not paying anything, and I'm a little bit like, why I brought these guys, because they asked me like a month ago to check it, and I haven't even opened the package, so I felt a little bit bad. So I thought, I'm going to help them here.
That's cool.
Yeah. So this thing is, I tested it though on the event. It's a Lithuanian company, and they have this thing. It's like, I call it a shock collar. I think that's the wrong word, but it's like
yeah, I think their marketing might call it something
it's
different.
It's absolutely not a shock collar. It just, you put it around your neck and it gives you shocks.
But not a shock collar.
Yeah, it's absolutely not a shock collar. But anyway, it puts it there. And
can I see that?
Yeah, it's there. You can actually open it, please. Like, you can open it here, because I feel bad for it. Yeah, please.
Unboxing.
Unboxing. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do live unboxing. But so it fits you. You put it on your neck, and you put some gel to make it connect better, and you put it on, and they call it some sinus nerve or something. To put it here, and you fire it up, you actually get it creates a sensation which makes it easier to relax. So originally, I think this was just people who want to relax, I guess. Coffee drinkers, maybe, and they can't relax. That's why I did. The guys asked me for coffee. I was like, I can't take it. This is me without coffee. Like, I say, if I had coffee, it is like let's open it. Do we have a cam on it?
Yeah. Pulsetto, we're going to be sending you an invoice after this.
Exactly.
Sure of that.
Please, continue. Let's see. You can play with it.
Touch it.
Yeah, touch it. Yeah. So this thing, I think we have to connect. Yeah, you can put it on so it goes on like from the neck. Yeah, from the neck side,
so
like this.
It's like a choker.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Absolutely not a shock collar. And then I think to fire it up, we have to connect it to the app or something. And
but
then
you would have it here, and it would like.
And then, but you relax, you lay down, chill, and then you fire it up. And for those listening, it looks like a collar that gives you electricity. It's not a shock collar. It's just.
I'm a little bit terrified, right?
Yeah. No, I've tried it. It just gives you this vibration feeling there, and it depends how much you fire it up. But anyway, but it vibrates. It makes these electrical vibrations on your nerve here, and it makes you relax. And it's supposed to be used for like battle fatigue recovery, and it's been tested by the Lithuanian military. I don't think they are not yet at the stage that they're selling a lot. But so I'm looking for people. This is a test example I got. Yeah, you want to try it?
Yeah.
I'm looking for people who just be like, hey, I could just come. There we go. Yes, Jill. Yes, exactly. Excited. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's not get stuck on that.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bottle of lubricant there.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I want people to be like, yeah, this is maybe not the most revolutionary invention in the world, but it does solve a problem, and they want feedback from soldiers on this. And they only have Lithuanian soldiers, and Lithuanian army is not what the Finnish army is. They're rebuilding, they're doing what they can. But so that's an example of this. So I'm looking for a service that can come and get involved, who can use, I mean, I would preferably have, like, say, you have some type of exercise and you do it for, 2 days, 3 days, and then you have your break period, like, I'm done with this. You can put this on and see, do I actually relax in a different way? Do I feel like, wow, this is what I'm recharging or mentally cleansing way faster? Yeah. So I'm looking for people to do that, for example. Secondly, I have this. This is the company is Carbodeon. They have, I had a meeting with them like 2 months ago, so I don't remember everything correctly, but they have a new way of doing carbon. It's like this is for 3D printing.
So like filament. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you call it. Filament, yeah. So I'm not a 3D printing guy. So he gave me this. It was so nice. And I'm like, I don't have a 3D printer, but I'm like, thank you. Being polite. I'm like, yeah. But anyway, so this makes it more, when you print with this, it's hard. It's still plastic, but it's using some type of diamond shape from carbon, which makes it more sturdy. So you can do lighter, same thing, but lighter with this, or same thing, or as much, but it's harder. And it can be used, so it's not non-corrosive. So if you put it on materials that move against each other, it doesn't break. So he's actually using this for oil pumps in the Middle East, where it's used mostly now. That's where it gets most traction, because they have to change. I think it was every 3 months, every 6 months, something. They have to change the whole thing, because it just goes against up and down, up and down. It causes friction and rips apart the pipes. You might have seen some video about like real men, and they pull these pipes up and switch. I think that's what they're doing. They're switching the pipe. So they have the ones that have installed with this on it. It's not a coating, it's the wrong word, he said something else, but it's like you put it on the outside, they haven't had to change the pipes yet, and they've been using it for over a year. So it's at least double the amount, and that creates the issue is then the people who do maintenance don't like this.
Right. Yeah, that's poor business.
Yeah, exactly. But and the thing is, so I would like to have somebody who like plays with maybe with drones or with any type of 3D printing where corrosion, maybe for cogs that goes to each other, stuff like this, to play with this and just give some feedback. So it's preferably in a military context. He would like in a rifle, in a like 3D things that would be used in a military context. He got the civilian side, but the military context is interesting for him. And I haven't yet find somebody. So people, these are just 2 examples. I'm sitting on 60-something cases. Not all of them are active to be used now, but if you contact me, there is more. There's more like this.
Our tech guy, we call him Q. He can help with that. He's
Here we go.
But
you can put this on and stimulate it.
Honestly, knowing him, he might get excited with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Most excited about that one. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, okay. So you're looking to connect people. You're looking to, you can also provide them a service with like helping with if they already have at a later stage a company, you can help them with the maintenance and all of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's what. And anybody, I want people to get their eyes open that we're all in this together. The top level, the Ministry of Defence is doing what they can, but we also have the Finnish military. They have their way of doing things, and things are going in the right direction. I think that would be a reason for a reaction post from you guys, because there should be some new strategy, or not like an actual way to work with new technology should be released some point early next year.
Okay,
cool.
But I've been interviewed about that 2 or 3 times, and many people in the ecosystem were able to give feedback, but I haven't seen the final result. That is secret, and I don't know what's going to come out of it. Something. So, but there will be an improvement. But everybody, this is our responsibility. Like I had the best guy said something like this: why he's involved is because he knows that when the shit hits the fan and we have a conflict, and it happens fast, we will not get implementing any technology in the first days. It's just violence and confusion for a long time. He'll be sitting in a trench and he'll hear a drone and be like, yeah, I had that idea of how to develop a counter drone thing. I never did anything about it. And here I am in a trench about to die. So it's for us. We're doing this for us. So that's why we're all doing it.
And you're also, if I understood correctly, you're trying to like, the military is doing its own thing. They're surely doing their own research and everything. But you're also trying to like sort of create a parallel, like a line, because you don't only have to have one specific pipeline, right?
Yeah, we're building a parallel process that can be used by the military at any point they want. Right. Whenever they're ready, we're here. But while we're waiting, we're building, and we're working with the military as much as possible. There are people involved, but the official, like how to say, there is no the processes that they have are not at all designed for this. They have grants they can give, like they have, I think called like development grants. You can get 30,000 to do some development on something. You can get into a program. There's Matinee, which is like some type of, there's another program where you do research, collaborations and stuff, but it's like all this slow pace or single, we work together only. The startups that I work with, they're like, oh, do you want to work with the Finland want to do? Do Poland want to do? The France want to do? We're checking who wants to do. And I like, wherever there is least friction, that's where we go. Things move way faster. And we don't have a way of, if the only cases are Finland is desperately in need of like a new type of glove. And I happen to tell them, they'd be like, yeah, glove, boom, bam, and it's solved. But otherwise, if it's like, yeah, generally we're looking at counter, UAS, everybody's looking at that.
We're thinking about it,
there's some process going on there. So we're building it in parallel so that we have things happening, we're testing things, we're getting people involved, we're giving feedback to these, because that's another thing. Finland, we have kind of, I would say, practically unique challenges. Maybe Estonia is a bit similar, but the way our weather and how we'd fight is challenging to most technology. So if we help them test and do stuff here in Arctic environments, Finland gets the best tech because it's tested for here. If it's tested for Spain, they're like, yeah, it's not going to work here. So if we help any company do their testing in Finland, we increase the chances that the tech is great and it can be used by Finnish soldiers. Like my focus is Finnish defense first, NATO defense second, the startup itself and Milog. Like those are my things, but Finnish defense is the key. Like yes, I work for Milog and that's my employer, but I'm helping to strengthen the Finnish defense and in extension the NATO defense. If Finland doesn't want it, I will give it. NATO will get it. But that's what we're doing here. So yeah.
There was I think it was an Italian drone company in an exercise in Estonia. It was like a fixed wing drone. It was made out of like something like plastic and stuff like that.
Not the diamond stuff.
No, I don't think so. But the thing was that the wings were covered in solar panels with the obvious idea that you can use solar energy to maximize the time that you can spend in the air.
Logic is okay.
Beautiful idea if you're working in the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Awful idea if you're trying to work out here
in January.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was November.
Where is the sun? I cannot see it. We don't have any.
The weather is wrong.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was the thing because it was November. It was Estonian weather. There was no sun. The clouds were at 100 meters. So like, I don't know. You do you, but you're gonna have to fly really high. To get...
Yeah, but you're right, and so we have definitely a challenging climate half the year.
And I think that's one of the keys where, like same with, don't car makers come up? They go up to Lapland and test their cars, and there's like a whole ecosystem around that, and everybody's really hush about it.
We're kind of going towards the same thing,
and that would be really cool to see, especially if you can like turn it into like almost like a trademark thing.
Yeah, we're trying. So if you do the testing with us, we will get like a Millog certified. That you have done this, like we can certify that the results are true. And we also, I don't like the word test, validation might be better, but like we're not testing, did this drone handle this heat or cold? We're more like checking. We're doing a recon mission. We're trying to detect the enemy. How far can we detect it? Like, is it at 100 meters, 200 meters? We're looking at more like an operational environment. And then we can give that, so when they're trying to sell either to Finland or somewhere else, they can say, we have done these recon missions, snipers, logistics, whatever the scenario might be. We've tried the scenario itself, and we now know, and Milog proves that yes, it was done, it works as said here on this report, with pictures and video on it. Yeah, so it's getting there.
Right.
Cool. Can you tell us a bit more about the testing process or like the field validation? How do you do it? And where?
Well, can you invent an idea? We can invent the technology that would be more helpful. I can use this as an example.
All out of ideas.
It's an inflatable thing, and we use this kind of lube thing we got here. Keep soldiers' motivation up.
What would be a good idea? Not at least a solar powered drone.
Yeah. That's the only. I'm only thinking about drones right now.
Yeah.
Well, it could be a drone. Well, okay. Well, let's say we can use a solar powered drone maybe. We just talked about it, but first we need to get you in. Okay, your angle here is to have a solar panel drone. Let's say that you haven't really used it in a military setting before. That would be the use showcase. If you have, the conversation is more like, okay, you use it in Spain. We need to now look at this. We will first talk. okay, the situation we have is we have sunlight from this angle and these things and how much sun we have. And this is and if the forest cover, you can't see through the forest, depending on the type of, do you have a radar on it, or because otherwise you can't see it through the trees. We can just do that on a talking level, and that usually is free. We just chat for like half an hour or usually an hour and go through like these basic things that if you're even commencing on this, these are the immediate challenges. Then we'll go forward and we would have a reservist group with us to discuss. The second level will be, okay, company says we want to go forward. Now we have the reservist group in, and they keep bombing with, peppering with these questions and things like this. And from that, we design a test. What type of, we do this with the customer too, like what type of tactical operational situation is this useful in? From there, we then design the actual, it's not exercise, not really the right word, but small tactical engagements that simulate what they think. Well, it was actually collaboration. Maybe they think it's useful for this, and we'll say, no, actually, we would use it this way. And then we make a simulation of that using some soldiers, reservists. We have Milog people there to verify that it's done the way it's done, and we might do it for 3-4 days, depending on the situation. And maybe it's for at nighttime, daytime, it's in the snow, it's using from different angles. And we say, okay, they say, we want to see how far can we spot an opponent inside it. We have a radar on this. We can actually see through the trees, and we want to see how far away can we spot. And with it's cloud cover and trees, but we can fly so high so we can get above the clouds. Maybe we can use a radar. Can we spot vehicles, for example? They were a big metal object, and we can say, yeah, we can spot them from this distance. Can we relay those coordinates back efficiently? And we run an exercise where we simulate these things, and then we write a report based on that. And we take together with them, take photos, videos, and create these scenarios. Yeah, is that clear enough?
Yeah, yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. It can be done digitally too. It could be there was a really cool company called Hedy. Okay, I don't know. I haven't signed an NDA with them. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking like how secret these things are. They want to be promoted, but anyway, they have a way to communicate in a way that you're not seen the way that you think you're seen. Like if we call on the phone, it looks like you're calling on the phone, but they can make it so that it maybe looks like you're, data transfer or something else. It's useful for certain situations. I'm not going to say too much about that, but it's a really cool company. Then there are some competitors in that space. That's basically a digital environment. We're doing signal interception, but we can do that in a digital environment. We can also have it's like cyber attacks, cyber defense, things like this can be done in a cyber environment. It's the same process, but we don't go outside. We do it on a server. It can also be the combination where the information that's traveled have to go to a server, and we don't want it to be on your computer. We want it, or on the Amazon or some shit. We want it to be on a Milog server so that it simulates the way it would be for the Finnish military. So.
Okay.
But that's how it's done. We figure out what needs to be tested, in what way, we go back and forth, then we set up the test and run it.
So if it's in the physical environment, because we're dum-dums and that's same. How most of us more understand things. Are you using like military training grounds of the Finnish Defence Forces, have your?
It depends.
You'll just set up like.
I gotta say, it's at the moment it is easier when we use private land. Right. We block that off, because then if we don't have to explode anything or shoot anything, we can do, but we cannot. Explosions a bit more. We're working on the explosions, but let's say if we're using it, we're just using non-kinetic stuff. Yeah. Being in a private land is usually easier for now, because the thing is, Milog, we don't have access to vehicles, for example, and we don't have access to military weapons. So we have them in our storages, but they're not ours. So we can't just take them. So that's a little bit of a caveat here, that I would love to have all this stuff, but I would have to ask Patria, can I borrow a 6x6, or can I, like that? It has to be done like that right now. So usually the buyer has to provide what equipment we're using to test. But private land, but we can use the Finnish military land, depending on the situation, and it depends on how that. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes harder to get access. We can get access. It's just how fast.
Yeah.
And usually I want to work fast, and they don't always want to work fast.
What?
That's how to say it.
Yeah, and I assume also like the Finnish military involvement in the project itself is probably some kind of variable also.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to complicate it for them. Also, if the thing is, if they're responsible, using I want to have them out, that they don't have to be responsible for this stuff. I want them to come watch. I want them to come play with the toys. I want that, but I don't want them to get involved in the organization of the thing more than absolutely necessary, so we don't add like friction into
Right.
it. I'm reading von Clausewitz on war now, or listening to
Nice.
it. So he talks about friction a lot. And
That's his
in
thing.
book 6 and 7. Yeah, that's where I'm at now. 1 hour in. It's a 30-hour. No, I'm 5-6 hours in. It's like a 33-hour book. Guy likes writing. I got to tell you, he had a lot of free time on his hands. Yeah.
Yeah, fog of war also big thing right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing more about that for now. But actually, I was thinking we haven't really covered what all kind of things Milog does, because like for me, for a long time, Milog was we were deployed back in the day in Lebanon, and their Milog had their own tent inside the camp, and they were just
That's
fixing
nice.
but they were just fixing the 6x6 vehicles, the APCs. So that was like our understanding of what Milog does. But could you like give us a short summary of what all kind of things you guys do?
Yeah, I just realized if anybody knows Milog and hears me talking, they'd be like, what the fuck is he talking about? Yes. Well, normal Milog for the longest time was, or still is, the strategic service partner of the Finnish military, or maintenance partner. So any tank, APC, gun, drone, ship, boat, we accept manned flight, we maintain it all. That's why Finland has 100% tanks up and running, while Germany has 30%.
Oh, so that was like a humble brag.
Oh yeah,
Yes, but we should be like, Finland is doing great. And Finland was, there was a government decision to make Milog, so it was the people's decision to do it. So Milog exists as a company owned by Patria and Insta, but Patria is owned by the Finnish government 51% and Kongsberg by 49%. So we are like 25% roughly owned by the Finnish government, but like through a detour. But we maintain all the equipment. So, and the rule, if Finland buys 10 new tanks, we automatically get a maintenance contract for 10 new tanks according to the pricing that we have with each other. And that's why Milog made money for the longest time. The issue with that is there's rules exactly how much money can be made, because it's a monopoly. And it's also in a way that if the military decreases or changes like over time, there's no way for Milog to grow. It's just, it is basically. So that's why I think it was 3 years ago, my unit, the VTE, stands for like I should read on my, anyway, I don't remember, it's in Finnish, but it's like industry collaboration, something like this.
Okay.
VTE unit, and we are some percentage of the turnover. We're growing all the time. We're growing with like almost like 100% per year, roughly, but it's growing quite fast, 50 to 100% per year. And what our role is to do all the other collaborations that are not working directly with the Finnish military. For example, startups. For example, OEMs. We can have a situation where they want to have service equipment in Norway. They might say like, hey, we have a deal. We're selling this new missile, and we don't want to have the maintenance here. Milog, can you do it? Because we already service the same missile in Finland, and we can set up a little, either transport it to Finland and service it here, or have a little unit there or something like this. So my unit is everything else. Normal Milog makes everything run, maintains everything, so it's smooth ride all the time. All the tanks up and running. That's what it is. Yeah. But my unit is a little bit special. And startups, that's what I do. Then we can do, what is similar to a tank? Mining equipment. We have heaters, like diesel heaters. There are other situations where diesel heaters are used, so we can maintain other equipment that's similar with Milog workforce. So that, because we have the knowledge about it. So that's another thing that's kind of adding into this, to be both with OEMs and with the other equipment that is similar to equipment used by the military.
Right.
Cool.
And
good summary.
Yeah, good summary. And I was just going to sort of build on that on both startups and, like you said, bigger companies. You're also working with companies from abroad. So you're not also just looking for startups from Finland.
No, I mean, that's great. If they have a cool tech or money to pay, I'm happy to work with them. But we have the priority is Finnish Defence Forces, not Finnish companies per se.
Right.
Finnish Defence Forces have the best equipment. Of course, we want Finland to make money, and we should have work and stuff here. I'm very much for that. And we're in some recession. We're like the shittiest country ever, according to some EU report. Bastards. We should. But so I want that. But the priority has to be on defense. We want the defense to thrive. Defense forces to have the best equipment.
Okay,
that's good.
So that's your main driving in that sense.
and money. That's important.
Can't forget the money.
Can pay for their stuff. No, but like,
But yeah, okay.
I see tech. Like I had the 60 cases are the ones I've interacted with so far this year, and I started in August. So I interact with and that's the ones that I'm like discovering. The other, I meet, I don't know, 200, I don't know, many that I just check in. It's like, I'm not interested in it. Doesn't go anywhere. So out of those, I'm trying to figure, is there some new angle here? I talked with this company to do this anti-air, anti-drone weapon, and I spoke with him, and I was thinking, what's the difference? He's talking about having because rifles are used. There's a cool company called Thistle that we collaborate with. They put 4 service rifles onto a turret, and you can carry the turret. You put it, and it can autonomously shoot drones, people, and cars. Really good. And you can just put it somewhere, and it kills whatever's in front of it. I love it. Great. So now you can be in like some dugout, and then the rifle is there doing its job. I think it's great. But the thing is, he said, the other guy I spoke with, he's from the Czech Republic, and he said the thing is, it shoots also whatever's behind it. If the angle, by the way, is low, if the angle is super high, goes straight in the air, the bullet is not dangerous. But if it goes on this like 45-degree angle, that bullet travels like 5 I don't know, really far.
Yeah.
And I just heard a story. It was happening here in Finland. It was a hunting accident. They shot a moose, missed it, and hit a guy on a bicycle.
Yeah.
This shit happens. He was like biking, dead. So bullets are freaking dangerous. We had a guy when I did service too. He also died. They get into this area that he shouldn't be in. It was a misorder somehow. The boat comes in and the bullet hits him. There's one single bullet lands, hits him, kills him immediately. So these things, the bullets are dangerous. So if you have this I really like Thistle and the point, it shoots everything, the drone and whatever's behind it. So they are instead using a net in this case. So it's quite focused on what it's attacking. It's taking out this drone with a net. So that gave me, it's a different way of seeing it. That's an interesting case. Now I'm looking for this variation in solution, like the underlying ideology of the solution, and of course the technology. Can they match it with the technology? That's interesting. Then I'm trying to work with them. And if they happen to be from Czech Republic, that's how it goes.
Okay, I hope you can take something else away from this episode than just bullets are dangerous. I feel like our listeners might actually know that already.
Okay, yes. Guns and boats are the worst.
Spoken like a true Marine.
Exactly. We're going to get out of the boat, dude. Just like this. That's the point. Yeah. That's the other thing. If you sit on that boat, have you ever been in one of those boats?
Yep.
Yeah. You just see the sky. You sit down on
if you're lucky.
Yeah, you sit in the bottom and you look out. There's this little window, and you just see the gray sky above. You're like, for like however long until you land. You can finally
so
get
much
out.
Seasickness.
Oh yeah, just Anyway, so it's like see the world. I'm seeing the inside of I see a sky and the inside of a boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I was just going to say that must be an interesting place for you in that position where you probably see a lot of similar innovations or something completely different where you think you've seen it all and then something new comes along.
Okay, I say something about boats. Innovation on the boats, whatever it's called, USV.
The USV?
Yeah. I see one USV per week,
right?
Or at least.
Yeah.
Just if you think you have something on it, before you contact me, just check around for other USVs and see if you are any way different. Because they are very similar all the time. And check that you beat the Maguras, whatever they have it in Ukraine. Check that yours is better or somehow different than that. And then check all the other ones that are coming up every freaking day. Because somehow, I don't know, people with boats love boats, and they just got to get involved. I mean, people like boats, like really like boats. Yeah. It's only on or off. It's like love boats or I don't care about boats. Like those are the only two options. So yeah, but anyway, I do see a lot of innovation, but the boats, they are very similar. But okay, sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry about that. Yeah.
No,
but I do see a lot of boats.
That was just
Some people are militarily interested persons, and some are like boat interested.
Boat
persons.
over interested.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes they meet, and we got these boat drones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, but that was just the idea that you probably see a lot, and then also you get these contacts where I have this great idea, and then you just go like, yeah, I've heard 5 of these.
Yeah, I feel, dude, I had one with the boats, especially. I've had that happen to me 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, I'm sorry, like, but it looks very much like this. Like Kraken just raised 50 million. They have a surface and then go underwater to strike the so how are you compete? Like, what are you doing different? And that's like a known big name startup in this space. It keeps going. So I've been trying to be nice about if you have something that's great, but if you just really check if you have something that's different before you invest more time and energy into this. So yeah, that happens. But I guess it's really exciting and fun, like to hear all this. By the way, that's why I want to be with the reservists too, and also get feedback from Ukraine. I have to put myself in the shoes of the soldier all the time so when you tell me about, we have this new balloon, like there's a lot of balloon stuff too. They are varying though. Do you know there's balloons coming from Belarus into Lithuania? Yeah, it's a big problem. Yeah, I've been working with people in Lithuania. I said, sorry, got to take care of them balloons. I'm like, how many balloons? How many balloons are they sending? Apparently, so they're trying to fix it. So that's good. Yeah, but they go high as hell, like 10 kilometers up. These stupid balloons. They're the worst. Balloons is like our only poison. We cannot.
Yeah, I wasn't imagining that balloons would be a problem in like 2025, but apparently they are. Yeah,
our only weakness. Yeah. How did they know? But yeah, we see a lot of different technologies, and it's extremely exciting. But I need to understand how the soldiers fight, so when somebody tells me something, I'm like, okay, well, at least initially, this is how I see it being used. And then if with my contacts, I can go to the right type of people and say, I saw this, I think it makes sense, does it make sense to you? And progress from there. So that's all the feedback I can, how we fight or how we want to fight, how the Ukrainians fight, how the Russians fight. It's all very relevant. So that's why I have to keep involved. I haven't gone to Ukraine yet myself. I don't think I will. It's somewhat dangerous. I have a family, so I don't intend going there. I do have a pin that says I believe in the victory of Ukraine.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
So that's my support. Now I do help them in other ways too.
Yeah.
I don't go there directly. But every time somebody comes from there or something, or it's a new book release, I'm like, okay, I need to pick up what's going on.
Right.
When Pokrovsk, I think we talked about it, but when Pokrovsk fell, I was really bothered. I'm like, how? Because it fell in like a week or something. And I know, war is not like, it's not, but something happened there. And I had to, I spoke with 2 different military guys from Ukraine, 1 journalist, and then I looked at some videos online, and then it was the fog. No.
Yeah. That's what I learned as well.
Yeah, exactly. No, but the fog was a big, but it's part of the problem. And apparently defending houses is harder than defending, like with, urban combat, like you probably learned, like going to Lebanon or something, like, fuck, we fucking die. In urban combat, it's horrible. Now it's like, no, if you attack an urban center, it's better. Attacking urban centers is great because you hide inside of in the buildings for the whole day, and at nighttime the kamikazes don't work because the thermal is so expensive. They can put it on a spotter drone, but they can't put it on all the kamikazes. And I think the kamikaze strike percentage is somewhere between 10 and 20%. So if you, as an individual, walk around, you might just dodge 8 drones. We only see the hits. But you might dodge 8 of them before there's a hit. So like it's still that the Russian command doesn't seem to value human life, but there is some chances for you. And you go to one house here. I saw a guy, he had like 2 backpacks on. One backpack and then glued with the Jesus tape, like a backpack on the other backpack. So he was set up to be there for like a week, 2, 3. I don't know. He was going, I'm going to just be here.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of dangerous with just an AK. If you're in this building, you can't just send logistics through with trucks and stuff, especially unarmored. Like you can get shot because like they hear the truck come, they shoot at it. So and they got drone teams in. So now you got drone teams fighting you from like a kilometer out inside of the house, inside of the town. So it's very hard to defend the town. And then they were going with civilian clothing, scouting, coming back, switching to military gear. That's another problem. So that's a war crime, I think, to use civilian clothing as a soldier. So that happened. And then, you cannot fight at night properly. And then you add the fog. And suddenly, and they didn't use a single, I think, proper military vehicle there. They just went all infantry and light, like cars and stuff. Suddenly, the way they set up the defense, it couldn't hold up to that. Because if you're Ukrainians in one block, they figured out where they were, and they just walk around it.
Yeah.
Just avoid it. And then they just let them sit there for, like the Russian soldiers could sit there for weeks and hold. And then, eventually you break and get the drones in there. So, yeah, but that bothered me. So I need to learn how they fight so that the tech I'm hearing about, I can reflect, is that useful at all?
Yeah. Kind of on that idea, though, like, while that's really important, when you think about when they first came out with the drones, and I'm sure I've said this on the podcast before, but for the user on the ground, it was more like, wait, we have this innovation. How can I use this? And then also, obviously, at the other end of the spectrum, you have that some big logistics officer who's like, oh my God, how am I going to turn this into like a real system or something? But I think that's also why the military needs to be involved in that, in like not only getting real idea or new ideas, but more like getting or ready-made ideas, more like all right, there's this kind of thing. How would we actually use this? How would we change the way we're fighting so that they're also, or the military is also getting into the idea of like innovating like forward sort of thing,
I think
and adapting to that innovation.
I don't know exactly how. I don't know enough war theory. I'm reading Clausewitz, and that's from like 1799 or something. So I'm catching up. I'm getting there, but like the innovation path seems to have to become a branch of the military, not just as a nice. It's important to add new technology in our different, but it's like I see it as it needs to be a function as important as getting water up to the soldiers, getting ammunition to the soldiers, knowing where to go, communicating. The innovation path is as important. That's how I see it, and I think that's why that's the paradigm shift. I should have said it in the beginning, maybe, but like that's the shift. We need to consider this as a one of the legs of a military is how do we use the innovation from the front and use it into the technology we have to win.
And not only from the front. That's what.
From any.
And like, all right, so there's this thing, and we don't really know what problem this is going to fix. But like, what if we just think about it for a while, and then like, all right, we can actually fix it here. Yeah,
I think that the attitude should be like this. Like, for example, I don't know if this is useful for anything, but okay, this is a different new type of plastic that can be used. Oh man, we should just try to mess with it and see, can we maybe use it somewhere? And I think maybe that's what I also want you all reservists here, or everybody listening, to be like, you can be part of this in the way that if let's say in the old world, I would give this to like the R&D department of the Finnish military. They feed this all into their heads, and they at the same time need to be somehow aware about what the need is of the soldier at the same time. And they're like 5 guys, or I don't know. They're more than that, but that's a challenge for anybody. What Ukraine is doing is like they've taken it in their own hands. I'm like, I'm checking what equipment I could use. Like, and every brigade has an R&D division now. An R&D is a part of an R&D company. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying we will do exactly the same, but think of it like tinkering around with equipment in some way, or thinking about how it could be used, has to be on the individual's role, because there's no way the R&D guys, even if you beef it up 10x, they're not going to be able to, because they're not with their feet on the ground. They're not playing around with it tough enough. It's no large organization does this efficiently. Like not Nokia or Microsoft or Apple. Nobody who's big does any innovation well. They all suck at it. So, but if you take the responsibility on yourself, you can at least be, when the situation arises, you can then promote it internally, especially you guys are officers. You can promote it internally. It's like, this is something I want to have worked on. I have help from Milog. They're really supportive. But there are ways to do this. So I think people have to put it on themselves to be the champion that they need to be. Otherwise, it's not enough to think somebody else is going to do it. Even though they are doing their best, but they're like basically overwhelmed, and they can only handle a certain amount of orders at the same time.
Yeah. So it has to come from the ground up, essentially. Yeah.
And when the shit hits the fan, if we're all used to it, this is imaginary land, but like, if we're all doing this constantly, we're thinking, I have this thing, how could I use it? And that's the brain we go on with. We see something in our civilian life, like, what if that? And actually, you call them, check, can I do a demo with, like, I want to come check, I'm a military guy, I want to check if this could be used. You can just do that as a private person with a military interest. Go and say, this new fridge, I'm looking at the fridge there, like, this new fridge, but we could use it to store our ammunition. It would be much, like, it would shrink, it is great, or something. I don't know. Yeah. It's a shrinkage machine. I don't know. And then, like, test it out, and you can just, and if it's really good, you'd be like, hey, shit, have you thought about selling this to the military? They might say, no, but you should. Here, like, here's my guy, Rasmus, he can help you. Or here's the accelerator, Define accelerator, they can help you go forward and see if you can actually sell this to the military, because we need this. Now they have an interest because they have a champion. And that's the same for me. If I have a champion inside who will push this internally, now things will happen. If I try to force feed, that's the issue also we have here. not everybody thinks everything is relevant. Like, I don't want a new drone. Like, we don't need it. Like, why are you forcing me to have all these fucking drones? I don't give a shit. I don't care about the drones. So they will try to not at least passively defend. I don't care. So if you have a champion inside, it's like, I want to push this. I want to have this in my unit. And they keep pushing. Eventually, whoever's in response, like, yes, okay, here you go. You can have it. Like, stuff.
Because
eventually.
What I learned a while ago, what the French did with the drones is, what I understood is essentially they gave a certain amount of fund money to like at least like a brigade level, I think, and just gave money to all of them and went like, all right, do drone stuff, like order them, try them out, cover TTPs, try them out, fuck up, come back and like fix it and then report back. But that's because they have the professional military, so they essentially have operational troops that are more or less on standby, just trying to figure out what to do. And you can order them, all right, like this company, you're going to do this now. And like 6 months from now, you're going to know something that we're going to report back to. In Finland, we don't have those operational troops on a brigade level, except that we do have reservists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
but the cycle is a bit different.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if there could be like if they could have sort of like the maakuntajoukot, how would you
like home guard?
Home guard sort of unit, either with them or if the military would just have like similar units, more like on that whole innovation thing where you just have propeller heads coming in, walking in to Kainuu Brigade and like once every 3 months and like, all right, so there's gadgets. Let's try to figure stuff out.
I mean, if we would have even, I know they scheduled everything out, but if we would have like, there's the week, we call it Innovation Week, that would be, if we had Innovation Day, if we had Innovation Day for conscripts, they would love it.
Right.
They would have to be inside, which partly, they would love that. They can go to toilet. I love the toilets now. The warm inside toilet is a blessing.
Yeah, you learn to appreciate it.
I love it. Yeah, warm shower too, but the toilet is just something special about that.
All right.
Anyway, I found, I was on exercise, right? And I found an empty building open. Toilet is a heated building. I was like, I was so happy. I was there for like 2 hours. I was so happy. It was so good. Yeah. But if we have an innovation day or an innovation week, and like we're just going to play with stuff for this week, they would love it. And you get feedback you would get in. It's like, but structurally, it's not how things are usually done. But I think that some version of this is what we need.
You said earlier you had some sort of spy story too.
Oh, they're fun. Yeah, Russian spies. No, this was from a Danish guy from the Danish foreign ministry, and he had a friend or something got appointed to be this was before the war, I think. He was appointed to be the Russian, like an assistant to the ambassador or something.
Okay.
And it was not published publicly, and it was not whole ministry either. But some people knew. It wasn't secret, but it was known, but not really known that he was selected. The same day he gets this job, he's celebrating in a bar. It's like the stairs, like a bar inside, like it's downstairs. And he's sitting there drinking. And then suddenly appears a beautiful Slavic-looking woman, comes down the stairs. She looks like left and right, sees him, beams over, sits down, says, "Hey, hello, my name is Svetlana. Nice to meet you."
Not suspicious at all.
Yeah. No, it's on purpose. We know. And it's like, how the fuck did they know?
Yeah.
And we know.
Mm-hmm.
We know where you are. I knew where to find you. So there are things like this.
Sending a message.
But there was another one. This was a Finnish. You might know more about this than I do, and I might have butchered this partly. But it was like there was a Finnish. It was some type of officer training school, and I think they were in Estonia or something. And for some reason, they ended up in St. Petersburg, I think, for some reason, on an excursion. So somehow, like I think they did a little trip. This was before the war as well.
Yeah, I was about to say this was probably not in the last couple of years.
No, but this was like 15, 20 years ago or something. After the Soviet Union, but like in Estonia, had some collaboration. Then they go on a trip to St. Petersburg. He has fun there, meets a girl, they dance together, and then they go up to, I think it was his hotel room. And the moment they shut the door, is like banging on the door. And then the 3 very large Russian men go in and say, I messed up my microphone again. Can you hear me now? Yeah. So so they bang on she closed the door and they bang on the door and open.
It's still,
there we go.
Cable is apparently a bit sketchy. Now there's some interference.
Say something. Okay.
Okay. It's still, no. Nope. Now it's completely dead. So
story.
it's the Russians. Is it this one?
No.
Nope. Or nope. Yeah.
Oh,
no, it's completely off.
Yeah. Do you have an extra one?
No, you're back.
I'm back.
Yeah,
it's a little bit scary. I have to sit still, and that's not my.
Just don't move.
It's not my bed. Okay, so where did we lose me?
So Russians come knock on the door.
Yeah. So the lady is there. The Finnish man is there. The officer recruit, and close the door, and bang, bang, bang. They open the door. There's 3 Russian, very large men there saying, "You raped this girl." And I was like, he didn't have time to. But anyway, so you raped this girl, and you're not going to court in Russia for raping this girl. And he's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't like, for the record, he didn't rape her. It was a setup. Okay. But he became a spy, and I think he reported for like 10, 15, 20 years back to Moscow. And he was a Finnish officer.
Damn.
Yeah. So but
if I remember correctly, he's an Estonian officer who went to school in Finland.
Oh,
yeah, something like that. Okay.
Way, yeah.
He's not a real Finn, of course. He would never do that. He's one of them Estonians. Yeah. So, gotta get. If anybody has a job for me, I'm on the job market now.
I'm available.
Probably no Estonian companies at least. Yeah.
No, but Estonians are great. But it's the but so that's how they get you. Like they know what you're doing. They're using the techniques to get you. So that's we all have to be careful,
guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So when this mic went out, it could have been Russians, or it was me banging on the table and making moves. But I like those stories. They're kind of like we have to be aware that they're all over.
And if you're looking for me, I'll be at Jackie's starting at 8 p.m. on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Back to the original topic here. What I wanted to ask, like, what are some of the biggest, like, how do companies fuck up? Like, what do they need help with? Like, how can they avoid mistakes?
Well, so we have the Ukraine, not Ukraine thing as well. I'm generally pro-Ukraine, but you have to... So what they mess up with is that they believe that whatever they're building is good enough, or like you can't build military equipment as a civilian without a close connection to the military. And in Finland, we take this for granted. Like, everybody's a reservist. And if I'm not an active reservist, like my brother is, or my cousin is, or like, I listen to this podcast, like, there's always people who you can kind of, it's basically in our blood. Like, we just do so much defense. It's so natural. And now because of the war, it feels even more natural. But most companies, like, if you're a civilian, you don't have that in you, and you will just misunderstand where this thing is useful. That's the most common problem. And the more you work in that direction, like, I worked in normal business before. We call that customer validation. So you got to check. I can use an example. It's called Ferrita or something. It's I'm blanking on the name now as well. But she's Mari is her name. She makes this company. They check for blood if you have too little iron in your blood or something like this. That's a women problem. But anyway, they have that problem. And apparently it's quite a big problem for them, when they have a period, and how much should they take some supplements, should they not, and there's all kinds of things. And so she did it by interviewing, I don't know how many women to figure out that it was, then get piloting customers, did an app without any real coding, it's like a shitty app, but just to make sure it works the way it should. Then they were outside, they were in the subway collecting with the thing, and they made that thing on like Canva or maybe even PowerPoint. It looked like not professional. Like, I'm so happy they did it, but they did it basically the shittiest way you can possibly do this, and people were still interested. And they kept talking with these girls, understanding how they felt about how their iron levels, what they've been going to doctors. Like, they really understood the problem, and then they were able to develop the app, and I think they're raising money now. They're doing great. She did everything by the book. She worked for Kiowas before, which is an accelerator here, so she understood how, but I'm like, she's a textbook example how to do it right. But how do I do that for the military?
Right.
I'm like, hey guys, I know that you have a problem with your tanks is leaking. And they're like, no, I never heard about that. Sorry, click. Or like, I cannot confirm or deny your accusation. Well, we want to fix it. Well, that's great for you. What are we supposed to do? Like, I can't validate even that the problem exists. That is the fundamental problem with developing technology for defense in the early stages. So that's what they need to get right. How do I get access to people who are close to the problem to tell me what's wrong? And maybe not just one person, 2, 3, maybe from a couple of different countries, and possibly also Ukraine. I would lean yes to Ukraine. Ukraine is mostly useful, I would say. What you have to worry about, so then we can come to a pitfall. Ukrainians don't really have this idea about intellectual property. So if you have developed a new drone that does something, they're like, oh, can you tell me? Oh, very good. And then, okay. Stanislav, you're checking this? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, good.
Can
Thank
imagine.
you. Come back later. And then they have developed exactly the same thing. If 1/3 of the price, and it's like better. Immediate, like they are defending their country, and they will just get it done. So the technology you have to be in such a way that it's not easy copyable. If it is, like, just tell them how to do it and let them win the war. Like, but don't imagine that. So the other thing is also, it's dangerous to be there. It's like people die, civilians die there. Even if you're in some place, you might just get hit and you're dead. And if it goes into Russian hands, we also have a problem. I spoke with one company about it. Like, the way they solved the problem is like, okay, can a Russian reverse engineer this? And they said like, yeah, maybe they can. Given if they put effort on it, they can reverse engineer this. I'm like, I don't think you should deploy it there, because it just, it will land somewhere or go somewhere, and it's not in your hands anymore. And the Russians are like, they're like this. Have you seen Starship Troopers?
Yep.
Yeah. So they have this big thing that's like, looks like a worm or something that's in the tunnels, and it sucks people's brains out. Yeah, that's what they're doing there. Or like the Borg, they're just accumulating technology. They find something and suck it in. So you get, so there are concerns there. And Ukrainians don't fight like we fight necessarily either. So you have to take this into account. But generally speaking, the feedback you get there is immediate. Like, you get it quick. They'll tell this works, this doesn't work, fix this, and you go back and iterate, and then you'll. I don't know if you had this on the talked about this before on the podcast. I don't know if it's new or informational for your listeners, but that's really effective. That's maybe a hot take here, but Quantum Systems and Stark and those guys, they've been in Ukraine and their stuff works quite well. But what's the other gazillion dollar one?
Anduril.
Yeah, Anduril. They somehow had an issue and withdrew, and they stopped testing in Ukraine, and now they're having problems. It's like, because you're not in combat. It's free combat. Like, they combat for you. You don't have to die.
Yeah.
It's quite a good offer, and they're happy to test your stuff and give you feedback and help you develop it. So pitfall would be, you need to get this access, and usually the service is great. Inside champions, as I spoke about, getting people who care about this problem, get them to tell you more, and then the speed lane is getting to the accelerators. If you're in Define, NATO Diana, or UDIS BAM, one of those, or some similar version, you have now opened these doors for access to military feedback. So that's, and you have defense tech meetups, stuff like this, but mostly the accelerator is the best place to go to get feedback on your ideas, so that you really understand I'm going in the right path. I think that's the big, and then from there also understand what is a tactical use. I can't just say this is it makes you see 50 meters further. I'm like, okay, who cares? What does it matter? 50 meters more. But then they say, well, actually, if you're in this if you're in a fog, it sees through fog 50 meters. I'm like, now we're talking. Yeah. Okay, it's a fog see-through machine or something. Now we can sell this. Now this makes sense. But so that you have to figure out what is the thing you're solving here, or what is the edge this technology is giving. It's so easy to miss that, and you're a civilian, or like you're proud, or you're like happy about the tech itself or the solution itself, not what problem are you solving. This sounds like normal business talk, but in defense it's much harder. But it requires you to put that effort in and figure out the tactical and like operational situation where this is an advantage compared to other things that you're using. So those would be common pitfalls, I'd say.
Yeah, and I'd imagine there's also like this balancing of like you're solving one issue, but then again, how big of an issue is it versus like how complicated the new solution is compared to that. I love
my favorite company on this, the Battle Boxes. You heard about Henry from Battle Boxes? Yeah. Lovely. He has a box. What's called this a tactical stash, something like this.
Yeah.
Tactical 4-position stash or something. He's solving a problem that when you go somewhere, you want to put stuff there in advance, but if you put a lock on it with a normal key, like one guy has the key and then the wrong guy is there, so it can't open. And if it's broken open, you could put a mine in there or something. So if it's a broken box, you shouldn't open it. It might kill you. So and then if the right person is there, opens the box, it's for 3 platoons, suddenly everything's gone for platoon number 2. So it's like a note, say thank you for all the food and ammo, and then whatever's left is like what they couldn't carry, like they didn't want to have, like just left shoes, like no right shoes. So that would be the situation. So he solved this by having a box that is open using a certain code and is made in such a way that more people from the same team can open, but you can also control for who's opening and not, and you can control for if it's messed with or not, so that you don't have any of all these problems are solved. It's a super niche problem. And I don't think it's like a big problem, but nobody else is solving it.
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
like it's a weird niche problem to solve. So I think there are situations where the problem doesn't have to be like large per se. But I gotta say, have you heard it's like mosquito bite and shark bite? Like if you solve, you've had mosquito bites, right?
Mm-hmm.
You hate them; they fucking suck, especially as a soldier. You know that there are ways to not have mosquitoes. You can have nets. You could use this anti-mosquito creams. Still, we get mosquito bites because we don't care that much.
Yeah.
It's bothersome, but so if somebody would have this ultimate solution for mosquitoes, I'd be like, yeah, but I still won't buy it. Like, I'm sorry, I will just take the mosquito bite. Yeah. But the shark bite is like, I need help immediately. So I because you're bleeding to death. So I think that his thing is somewhere in between a shark bite and a mosquito bite, so people are bothered enough to be like, God damn it, like I don't like this problem. Also, another thing I want to mention that is also business stuff. Sorry, I get so excited, but it's so fun to be here. Is that you try to do you try to sell your thing as. I'm going to use an example from Tesla and Porsche. Now, Tesla has maybe it's a bad example now, but Tesla is now politically charged. Cha-ching. But it makes, before, back in the day, if you made money, like you had this big podcast, you made all the money in Silicon Valley, you bought a Porsche, and you're going to drive around and look like a big dick, like you like it. It's great. But then the Tesla came, which is also a sports car, but it's electric, and I meant environmentally friendly. And now if you drive around in your Porsche, you look like a douchebag, killing the environment and shit, especially in California. So I can't drive this anymore. So the Tesla, when it killed the Porsche in this certain segment. So that's what Henry is doing with battle boxes is the same. The second I understand that there's a box that solves this problem for me, I can't look at the old solution.
Exactly.
I hate the old solution now. It sucks. I want to have battle boxes now. And you do that,
and that's one of the things why it's important to look at these like more than just the surface, like more than just the solution as such. But like, okay, so his case is with recon Marines that they can have stuff on islands so that you don't have to carry a tent to the island or whatever. Yeah. But also when you really start thinking about it, you can find all these different solutions and how having dispersed logistics actually makes sense even for a broader military or larger unit working in Lapland. And it's then you start thinking about like it can have all these sensors and stuff like that. And now we're talking actually. But it takes the fact that you don't just go like, nah, I like the lock and key solution.
I like to carry my stuff.
What are you talking about? It's just a box. Once you start thinking about that, now we're talking. Now it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go with that specific, but then you're at least, you're opening your mind to new possibilities and actually innovating and seeing problems.
Yeah. So and Henry is a soldier or a reservist, right? So that helps him. And then there are patriots inside of the organization who are happy to discuss this with him, to share their frustration with the problem and start to say, well, actually, he maybe presented. I bet he presented it at first somehow, and then said like, yeah, actually, but the sensor, like we need to know that it's not meddled with, that nobody opened put a mine in. Okay, new sensors are needed. Maybe we need to know. There might be other things they need to know. And now you have a big box. It maybe can have actually quite many sensors. It's big. It can have a battery in there. If depending on the design, it could last for years. So now you're starting to open up even more possibilities. But you need these patriots to help, to be listening and be like, okay, what can I do in my position to give this feedback for these guys trying to develop something cool.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the question was.
Me neither.
But I'm sure you answered it.
Yeah. Sure did. Yeah.
All right. We're coming towards the end here. And so you want people to contact you through LinkedIn?
LinkedIn is the place, man. It's where all the business people hang out. I guess, if I get my WhatsApp, I don't know what will happen. All the Svetlanas.
No. Yeah, don't do that.
Will send me messages.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah. So I don't know, but I don't know. Well, how would, if they want to get in contact with you, how do you do it?
Through Instagram.
Instagram,
Instagram.
but I don't have
YouTube
Instagram.
or
YouTube.
We also have this thing called email.
Email.
Yeah.
Yes, you can do that. Rasmus Basilier at Millog.fi.
All right.
That's the one.
Good.
So my first name.
We'll put
last
that
name.
in the show notes.
Yeah, perfect. But get in touch because I want more people to get involved, and because it's fun. This is exciting. Like this is so exciting, and sometimes we make things explode, and you get to hear like you can hear further, see further, fly drones. Have thermal, anti-thermal gear. There's all kinds of cool shit we're working on. Oh, self-driven. Oh, there's Telearmy, really cool one. I should drop the name of companies I'm working with. Wherein does the communication? So it's like it has a satellite, 4G, 5G, and radio like in a package, and they're using a different type of IP, so it can speak way further with the same amount of power, way further, and there's no disruptions. Super cool. That's one, and then you can use it on the Chimera radio, which is like a Ukrainian really good radio. So combined, it's like excellent. So we're playing with that. Then we have a Telearmy, is a really cool one. They have a car. They make cars driven by a person that's not there, and they're street legal. So they were driving from it's an Estonian company again.
Mm-hmm.
Like Wearin, also Estonian company. Thistle, also Estonian company. So I love the Estonian company. So Estonia is the best place. No, Estonia is great. So these companies are really good. They're really like, I guess Estonians get shit done. By the way, they're like, they move.
That's true.
We look super slow compared to Estonians. I gotta say. Well, Telearmy, to make any car into a tele-driven car, so you can actually, when they drove it, I was in the car, tried it during slush. I was in the car, and it's like, the wheel is turning and everything, and he's check. It's a legally driven car, and there's nobody there. It's like a ghost. It's really odd. But he hears. They have a microphone, so he hears what we're saying. So I was talking shit, and he was like honking and stuff. Of course I did. And then, but it's with that you can put a gun on it. For example, the Thistle gun that the one with 4 guns that can shoot drones and stuff. Put that on there. Suddenly you have a car that could be worth, say, 10,000 euro car plus a 10,000 euro gun equipment on it. Suddenly you have a forward placement like cold observation point which can shoot, and nobody's in it, and you can drive this car, click a button, drive the next car, click a button, drive the next car, and you can sit anywhere. You don't even have to sit in Finland to do this. You can sit that they did a little flash from Estonia because stuff like this, and when we would do an exercise of this, we will have the guys actually get to drive it like digitally. So we set up the digital station, we give you orders, do this, and you can start driving the car. That will be on a private area, by the way, so you don't kill anybody. But legally, you could drive it, but it's we control for that function. But it's so stuff like this, cool stuff.
Yeah,
working.
Yeah, then you throw a platoon's worth of gear in the trunk as well, and then you have a mobile battle box as well.
Exactly. Exactly.
Innovation.
But actually, like I'll speak with some guys. How much ground you have to cover by foot to observe or something like this? We shouldn't do that anymore. We should have tele-driven or auto, like we should just get things out there with nobody's in it, with all the sensors in it and stuff, and just let it sit. If it's a car, if you design the battery the correct way, you could just sit there for weeks, no problem. And you have the engine. You can have the engine. I don't know how long you can idle with an engine, but you could probably stand it for quite a while without doing much. And it doesn't have to be necessarily hidden. It could be like, there's a car there. And an opponent knows a car there. It costs 20,000 euros to take it out. Like, and it has an anti-drone thing on it. So okay, go for it.
It's cool. I actually want to, because we've been comparing countries a lot here, so we kind of covered this already, but how do you view the Finnish defense sector right now compared to other European countries? Where are we? Slower than Estonians, at least.
Yeah, we are. Unfortunately, Estonians are ahead there. I mean, I've just heard recently, I think it fits, is that the UK is like a leader in tech. They want to try tech stuff. And Finland is technically a laggard in trying tech. We want to check that it works. It really works, then we'll buy it. Before that, we're just waiting. I think that's the reason we don't have so many different drones and stuff. We're like, no, we can just wait. And there's a logic to that. If we bought drones 3 years ago, they will not be used anymore. 2 years ago, we'd use them again. 1 year ago, so I think I hope it's the genius of the general staff to realize that the time to purchase is possibly when the war just is over. That's when you place your order. Because now the development will slow down, and we get the latest tech that's being used in war. Bam, pull it immediately. That might be the strategy, but that's how I can sleep at night. That's the logic here. But UK is very innovative. I think the US also, they have many different innovation systems, like plenty of them. They have a Defense Innovation Unit, which is a special unit on this under the Secretary of Defense. They have
Secretary of War.
Secretary of War. There we go. Yeah, and then you have the Defense Verks with an X or something like that. They have different Verks, soft Verks and Navy Verks. They have all kinds of Verks that they have. I actually met the founder of that. Super cool. I was in an event. He's a great guy. So they're doing all these. They have functions for this. They also have function for field testing. They have the units, and they're also professionals. So they have a different take compared to us with our conscription army. So US is doing, I think, many positive things. It's very far away. UK is very forward in trying things. I would say that in Finland, but we have the willingness to learn and willingness to fight is very strong. The willingness to do this better. There's practically no person I meet to say, yeah, it's perfect. No, like the people you meet say, like, we're fixing this. Like, everybody's pulling in that direction. Of course, I wanted to go faster, but at least the spirit of the military and all of us reservists. Okay, I'm technically not a reservist. I tried to be. I just found out it's illegal. I can't be because I did my service. I'm a Finnish citizen. I'm half Finnish, but I did my service in Sweden. And I have to do it I have to do the Finnish service at least 6 months to be eligible. So I was trying to find some like loophole to get in, but it seems to be not for me.
You're doing your part.
You're doing your part. I signed a contract with Milog. Like if there's a war, I'm like conscripted into Milog. So I guess
I can assume.
I'm guessing there. Well, so UK really cool. I think Sweden has one regiment, P7 defense regiment. They're the ones that are deployed in Latvia. Is it? They are really like the guy I spoke with, the commander there, Siegenfeld. He was just said everything. He's like, we need to have the units. Like we have to make everything look the same. So the command post cannot look different because we had to hide in plain sight. We need to make it more efficient. Everything had to be at least 50% more efficient. And he was, I cannot say everything he told me, but it was like all the stuff that we can complain about. He's like, he got it.
Right.
He got it. And but he's the only one who is allowed to do this in the Swedish military.
Okay.
The only one. But so they are that we should do that in Finland. We should have like an experimental brigade of some sort. That kind of what you kind of said before. That would be cool. But I would say we are. And they have the Swedes, they're doing something else well. They have the experimental office on this Air Force who is just buying in equipment as they feel like. And if you have an officer, you're like, hey, I want to do something, you can go there and, they start a project. They don't have, like, they just spend millions. It doesn't matter. Like, they're not buying tanks, they're buying drones and listening equipment, stuff like this. Yeah, so they're unfortunately doing really well there. Like, I have a weird, I'm from Sweden, but it's like, it's tough. I mean, I want Finland to win. I don't like it when, like, yeah, they're obviously doing it better. It's like, feels anyway. So, but the spirit is of the right thing here in Finland. I would say the spirit is right.
That's cool. Yeah, actually, one thing about the spirit is we had an interesting discussion here some time ago with some guys who are working with very very high tech stuff, which also requires like a lot of competence and a lot of also military skills, and they need to like recruit. People to do that job, which is kind of a job that would require you to then be drafted to that position in case of like war, and the issue with reservists with high morale who want to be reservists and identify themselves as reservists is that like they're happy to do that job during peacetime, but they don't want to like sign the contract to then like get the VAP in Finnish, the like varattu työnantajan palvelukseen thing, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So they don't actually want to do that because they still want to like do their military service as like reservists or like the riflemen or stuff like that. So kind of like you.
So they
also
see the
like,
drone footage and like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to be the guy with the rifle.
They want to do what they've been training for.
Well, that's the next issue. Then is once shit actually hits the fan, how the thing. Yeah, exactly.
I think for all recruiters for this position, just show them some drone footage, man, and say like, you have a choice.
Just like, all right, guys, let's sit down and have a meeting.
Let's really talk about
this. And after an hour of watching this material, you're going to walk out and you're going to sign this paper.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be helpful. Yeah, I mean, I know we need soldiers on the front, but like it's not right now. I mean, I don't know if it ever was a good thing to be on the front, but like if you can choose, I'm just saying, just think about it one more time. One more time. Think about it. That's my take on that.
All right,
good
cool.
take.
Still questions?
Nah, I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long we were going for a while?
Bunch of puns I would have, but let's not take those now. Yeah.
Take it off there. Yeah. Hey, thank you. It was lovely being here. It was a ton of fun.
We're happy you were here. We're happy you opened your box of many words.
Yeah.
and explain this. We're hoping that our listeners are going to activate and take part and go out there and contact you if they have an idea or a company or dual use or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna right after this pitch you with an idea of a radio-controlled boat with claymore slapped on top of it. Not gonna dive or anything. But
let's see how that goes.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.